Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to TOTSY'S here at the Ascendido building. You are with Imato de South Rodriguez, and this place has been highly recommended by the most influential person in my life. Happens to be my asawa. He's been bugging me for I think months already. Babe, try mo yung pizza sa TOTSY'S. Like, saan na TOTSY'S? So apparently here at Ascendido building. For those that don't know, it's where Price Tower is. It's where the Landco building is. And yeah, well, if you're from Davao, you know. If you're not from Davao, well, you should know. So since my wife suggested the pizza, and I am a pizza guy, in fact, if you ask me what my favorite food in the world is, I would probably just tell you two things. It's ebi tempura and pizza. Okay, specifically the meaty kind. So we have one of their signature dishes here. We also ordered one of their pasta dishes. They do have quite a variety of pastries as well. They have their cheese roll, which apparently is their signature. They also have, of course, the international variety, the croissants, and the typical French pastries. They have that as well. I also ordered a doppio of espresso because I'm a coffee guy, and that's also one of the things that obviously they specialize in. They do have coffee among other specialty drinks as well. And yeah, so let's check out a slice or two or three or four. I can probably finish after this. First off, I was expecting it to be a lot smaller kasi nga it's more of like a designer pizza than the standard. And it's not like New York size full pizza, okay? But it's fairly decent. It's definitely not one of those artisan style or sized pizzas that you usually get from boutique pastry shops. So I'll get the slice. As you can see, there is the salami. So the difference between the salami and the pastrami, if you're not familiar, the pastrami is usually the one that you get in the sandwiches, the ones that you get at the delis. Then pastrami usually is a bit darker and it's made of beef. And salami, I think, is pork. But I stand corrected. I have to check on that, okay? So, ayan na. And if you want to know what makes this pizza special, well, I haven't tried it yet. So, I don't know. Most people, when they eat like designer pizza, they eat it with a fork and a knife. I'm a man, so I eat it, you know, man style, right? With your hands. First off, the crust. It's not the usual dough that you get with the Italian style pizza. This is actually a croissant dough. So, there. You've heard of the cronut, right? Which is like the croissant and the donut. This is the croissant, which is a croissant and a pizza. But I don't want to name it that because that's not what it's called, right? At least that's not what it's called here. But I should trademark that, the croissant. So here it is. Ayan. So just based on the eye check, the eye test alone, it's like I said, it's obviously not meant to be eaten with your hands because it doesn't hold its own. See, it might be mistaken for soggy, but since it's a croissant base instead of a dough base, it doesn't get crispy. It's not solid. Obviously, it's very crusty. It's very flaky. It's a croissant, all right? So just imagine putting like cheese and pizza fillings on top of your flattened croissant. That's basically it. But so there's I get yellow peppers, and then you have onions. You have parsley, and they're not heavy. I'm not even sure if this has tomato sauce at all, but it doesn't seem like there's a sauce base, particularly, at least based on my eye test. So they're quite generous with the salami pieces. Salami usually are sliced, big slices anyway, so there. Big thin slices. Onions, of course. Red peppers as well, green. You get the works and the mushrooms. Because their pastrami pizza doesn't have mushrooms. I don't think it's heavier on the garnishings. I think it's more of just the pastrami is more of just the pastrami. You have your arugula and whatnot. But in terms of the quality and the texture, what makes it unique is obviously, like I said, it's like eating a combination of a croissant and a pizza. So it's very flaky. It doesn't have the solid pizza feel. In terms of handability, if that's even a word, right? But in terms of the texture, it's very unique. I've never had pizza like this. This is the first time I've actually had pizza on a croissant base, and it's very interesting. It's buttery. You don't normally associate pizza with butter, but since there's croissant, this one does. And how flaky it is. I'm assuming this is also not as heavy as the standard dough pizza. But it's very social. In terms of the texture, the flavor profile is pizza all the way, but the texture is definitely croissant. You have to experience it to understand it. If you love pizza and you want a different texture experience, definitely try this, all right? And I'm assuming, of course, the seafood variant and the pastrami variant would probably give you a close to experience as the salami as well. It's just more on the topping difference. But the highlight really is the croissant base instead of the dough. Very good. All right, dish number 2. Let me have my espresso first. In terms of the vibe, very chill. It's quite spacious. It's not cramped, which I like. And you know, it's very chill. If you want to relax, enjoy your coffee with your pastries, or you want to have a decent pasta or pizza meal, you can have that here. It's well lit, bright colors. And you know, Valentine's Day is tomorrow, so this is sort of like our unofficial early Valentine's date, because you know the kids are at school. You become parents, you barely have time for each other. You take whatever you can get when it comes to, you know, me time, or in our case, hours. So dish number 2, this is penne with wild mushroom in truffle cream sauce. So I'm more of like a steak and potatoes kind of guy, so I'm not really into the fancy schmancy stuff. Okay na ako sa pancit canton and fried egg, but hey, once in a while you want to have your penne with wild mushroom in truffle cream sauce for socialan effect. But kidding aside, you know, that's what I noticed with today's palate. All right, with the people now, for travel has become more affordable. Everybody, you know, has been exposed to different dishes from different parts of the world. So people are not ignorant anymore when it comes to ingredients and authenticity of dishes. So kahit dito sa Davao, alam na ng mga Davaoeños, you know, if you're bringing quality ingredients to your dishes, they know there are levels to the food game. That's what I'm proud of, and that's what I'm, I guess, broadcasting to the world, that you can come to Davao and you can have quality food and dishes like this in a nice place like TOTSY'S. So I'm not sure what's so wild about the mushrooms in this one. They call it wild mushrooms. So I guess, what's the difference between wild and organic? Because, you know, when you think about it, right? If it's in the wild, then it's not, you know, it wasn't processed or whatever. So it's natural. So it's sort of organic, but fairly wild mushrooms. So Okay. I like the cheesiness of it. I like that there's just a hint of truffle because this is actually my wife's dish and she doesn't mind truffle, but she doesn't want truffle to overpower the dish because if you put in too much truffle in it, it does have a tendency to overpower the dish and it has a bit of like a pungent truffle taste because truffle is like a, you know, it's like a form of fungi, right? If I'm not mistaken. But very good, very balanced, no overpowering flavors, but I like that it's creamy and the sauce is not runny, which how I prefer my pasta sauce to be. So that's just my personal preference. Some people like it na yung parang the pasta swimming in sauce. I don't like it. I don't mind an abundance of sauce, but I want the sauce to be more on the thick, right? More on the thick, creamier, heartier side rather than the runny, sort of parang almost soupy na. So, again, I am not an expert in Italian dishes or any dishes for that matter. So I am speaking from a layman's perspective. I am enjoying these dishes from the perspective of a typical customer who would come in here. Finally, dessert time. There, cinnamon raisin Danish. First thing I noticed, it's pretty substantial. It's pretty big for a typical cinnamon. Most folks, if you're used to cinnamon Danish, it's usually slightly smaller than this. This is pretty substantial. This is a pretty good size. And I think this is, I'm not sure if it's pistachio. It looks like they're like crushed pistachios, right? So let's try it. So there, this there's a hint of flakiness to it. So it's not the bready, doughy type of Danish. This is more of the, let's see, yeah, a bit on the lighter, flakier side, which is I think more premium kasi siguro mas it's more difficult to attain this consistency and texture in pastries. Yeah. Pretty good, pretty good. This will go well with my espresso.
Kung first time po kayo sa TOTSY'S po, I do recommend yung cheese roll po. Soft bun, coated with sugar and melted cheese sa filling po. Then, yung mga cakes po namin at cheesecakes, yung milfoil, vanilla bourbon po. Is laminated puff pastry po. Filling niya po is vanilla bourbon po.
Good morning. Visit us at TOTSY'S Ascendido. We have pizzas, pastries, and coffees here. We're located at Ascendido Building, Price Business Park, JP Laurel Avenue. And we're open from Mondays to Sundays from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m.